election for Harris County Judge last fall made national headlines. The incumbent was certainly Hollywood's favorite, but under attack here for being soft on crime and way too liberal.
You're not going to get as many bad candidates as Lina Hidalgo.
It was an election marred by broken voting machines, long lines, and a curious shortage of ballots.
The last two major elections in Harris County have been hindered by a laundry list of blunders.
And Alex Mueller, she's now challenging the results.
This is my home. This is something worth fighting for.
Alex Mueller is finally breaking her months-long silence with this explosive critique.
But what I can't sit back and watch is this extremely progressive, hyper-crony partisan machine that is now operating in our county.
Mueller was a bomb squad tech, works in energy finance, a self-described soccer mom. A good resume when you first run for political office.
Crime is out of control in Harris County, and I can fix it.
And I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Alexandra Mueller leads incumbent Lina Hidalgo by just 2 points.
In the days before the vote, polls showed the race for county judge here simply too close to call. But Mueller was now up slightly, with crime the big issue. Early voting a dead heat, but the expected Republican surge on Election Day never showed up in the numbers. In the final vote, Mueller came up short by 18,000 votes.
And she had a furniture salesman. You can't win them all. Can't win all the bets.
We hope you have a happy, safe 4th of July.
We all know what Mattress Mac means to Texas, how many in this town he has helped. But now he's fighting for all of us, for election integrity.
Now more than ever, I'm convinced it was a biased election. If it's not right, we need to have a new election so the people of Harris County's voice can be heard.
Another 4 years of Lina Hidalgo. We have watched the consequences already.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Have you been watching Lina Hidalgo in action?
You will not cut me out. You will not beat me down. You will not tell me to sit down and shut up.
She sounds, well, paranoid.
I don't want to see this Trump-style harassment of our elections administrator.
Oh, you know what? That's insulting.
Let's just say what a lot of folks are already saying. She sounds unhinged.
I don't know what the fuck she's threatened you with. Yes.
But since Election Day, we've been trying to slowly peel the onion of what happened in November. We all know it was a nightmare.
And for that to not be ready when you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to make sure we were good. I mean, that has never happened at this point.
We knew about problems with Election Day voting early that morning. Take a look at the long line at the West Gray Service Center, a popular voting location in Midtown. 20 machines were broken.
Every voter in Harris County knows we're having problems with our elections. So it's about time we figure this out.
A report from the Harris County Elections Administrator Clifford Tatum actually called the November election a success. And they blamed for some of the election problems on the Astros championship parade the day before.
Believe it or not, it may also be why your polling location on Election Day opened late.
Who are they kidding?
I think it's a joke, and they're making the citizens of Harris County pay for their ineptitude.
I do not understand why the state of Texas has turned their back on Harris County. When I say turn their back, they are authorized to do a forensic audit on this election, and it's 7 months and they haven't started. You shouldn't be holding that office if you do not think transparency in our elections is important.
We know from emails Harris County still had not provided requested election records to the Secretary of State's office 4 months after the vote. And there's no evidence the Secretary of State, Jane Nelson, has any sense of urgency. And she's a Republican.
But isn't it a little embarrassing that not one government official can say what happened? What is the extent? How many months is reasonable? Should we wait another few years?
The scathing audit of the 2020 election didn't come out until after we voted in November 22. That's helpful.
What I would say to every statewide leader is prove me wrong. Show that I'm just a sore loser, but get down here, do an audit, and actually be able to stand up and say what happened. Because nobody has. That is my biggest issue. Tell me I'm wrong. But somebody just say what happened.
We now know Tatum closed popular Republican polling sites. Among them, Frostwood Elementary and Spring Branch, and 1001 Preston, a favored voting site for downtown office workers. The largest share of registered voters is in Precinct 3, the only precinct that has a Republican county commissioner. Yet that same area was next to last in the number of places folks could go vote. Commissioner Ramsey had fewer early voting locations than Rodney Ellis did.
What you've done is created an atmosphere where people don't trust what you were doing.
That's another layer of the onion peeled. It's the same part of town where maps showed most of the ballot paper shortages. It was a blatant violation of the Texas election code. Polls were supposed to have 25% more paper than they did 4 years ago. There were more than 3 million sheets of paper on hand in a warehouse. If this was incompetence, then we should see these problems everywhere. But it's hard not to notice where most of those ballot paper problems showed up.
County Judge, will you talk to us about the election records, please?
Lina Hidalgo isn't talking, but we now have the post-election survey of precinct judges and their alternates that were kept from voters for months. 119 polls didn't open on time. More than 120 Election Day polling locations actually turned voters away because they lacked the supplies to simply administer the election.
They suppress the vote to an extent that the true results of this race are unknowable.
Election Day log shows some polls didn't even have ballot paper at the start of the day. There was missing and broken voter equipment all across the county. A precinct judge in El Lago says he alone turned away 40 voters when he ran out of paper at 6 p.m. That's just one location, a microcosm of systematic failures, inexcusable. 15% of 782 polling locations didn't even open on time. Some shut down for hours. And the latest court filing now claims there were 1,116 people who admitted on election forms they no longer even lived in Harris County. But it looks like they were apparently still allowed to vote. More layers to that onion. A lawsuit filed on behalf of judicial candidate Aaron Lunsford now claims there were also more than 19,000 illegal votes cast, many of them absentee ballots. The first trial is in weeks. Hundreds of thousands of dollars has already been spent on election challenges. And Harris County is now spending your money suing the state to keep some election records a secret.
Everybody's vote needs to count. We need people to step up and help fund this, the lawyers that are doing this fight, because it is a long and arduous fight. I'm doing it right now for the future of Harris County, for my children, my grandchildren, for other people's children and grandchildren.
I'm very excited to have Mac with me, that we get transparency and accountability.
And don't forget that all those soft on crime judges who got people murdered all were declared winners in November too. In one case, the Republican candidate lost by less than 500 votes out of 1 million cast.
Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, when you get shot, you bleed red. That's what I'm fighting for.
But I'm very concerned about the future elections. It cannot stand like this.
For Alex Mueller, this fight for election fairness, for election integrity, for the truth, it's worth fighting for.
Every day longer this takes, that is Lina, Rodney, Clifford Tatum winning. It's another day that we don't have accountability and transparency. There is no career stepping stone. This is the hill that I die on this.